Hello, we're going to go over Daily Language Review Answers, Week 1. Day 1, number 1. On Saturday, Grandma Avery will go sailing on the ocean. So there were a few mistakes. You had to capitalize the O, capitalize the S, put a comma, capitalize the G, capitalize the A, and you had to fix the grammar. Instead of will going, will go. Number 2. I read an interesting article about kayaking in the magazine Sea Explorer. So in the original, this was incorrect. I read an interesting because the word starts with a vowel. We use an. I read an interesting article, look at the spelling, about kayaking in the magazine. And what's the name of the magazine? Underline it and capitalize it. Sea Explorer and a period at the end. Number 3. During the last decade, windsurfing has gotten more popular. That is the correct grammar. Windsurfing has gotten more popular. Number 4. Swimming and most popular water sport. Now to write a sentence, we would say, swimming is still the most popular water sport. You could say swimming was the most popular water sport. Swimming will be the most popular water sport. Any of those answers would be correct. Let's look at day 2. Number 1. Did you finish reading the chapter called Training Your Dog? So there were a few mistakes. We needed to capitalize. And if it's the title of a chapter, we're going to have quotation marks around the title, and we're going to capitalize the first word of each word in the title. Did you, and by the way, it said finished in your original, and it should be finish. That's the correct grammar. Did you finish reading the chapter called Training Your Dog? Number 2. Michelle always uses toys to reward her dog's good behavior. So Michelle always uses toys to reward her dog's, it's possessive. So you need the apostrophe S. Her dog's what? Her dog's good, not well, good behavior. We're describing a noun, so we use good. That is the adjective. And well is an adverb, so we do not use well to describe a noun. The spelling for behavior needs to be I-O-R at the end, so check that spelling. Okay, number 3. Michelle doesn't ever use any treats to reward her dog. Michelle doesn't ever use any treats to reward her dog. That is the correct grammar. Number 4. If you could see her dog now, you'd be surprised how smart he is. So this is the correct contraction for you would, you'd, with the apostrophe. All right, let's look at day 3. Number 1. The most popular horse novel is Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. So you see there were several mistakes. First of all, most popular. So we don't say with a superlative, we don't say most and popularist. We just say one superlative. So most, here's my superlative, popular. The most popular horse novel is, I have to underline it, I have to use capital letters, Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. Number 2. The horse was owned by many people, but Mr. Skinner was the worst one. The horse was owned by many people. Now that's a complete sentence, and we're connecting two sentences here. Okay, so we have a compound sentence. We're connecting two sentences, and we're using the conjunction but. The horse was owned by many people, comma, conjunction. But Mr. Skinner was the worst one. And it isn't worse, it's worst. Bad, worse, worst. That's the superlative. Number 3. It says that your adjectives and adverbs will vary. What that means is that there are many different choices. So I could say the strong stallion leapt far over the brown fence. You're adding a description into each of the blanks. And you'll have to check with me to see if it's correct. But you should have an adjective, a description, in each blank. Number 4, spell the underlined word correctly. This is how we spell it. Favorite. 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 Day 4. Dad made himself comfortable in a chair to read today's newspaper. Dad made himself comfortable in a chair to read today's newspaper. So we start our sentence with a capital letter. He made himself, that's the correct reflexive. Check the spelling here. And which newspaper is it? Today's. It belongs to today. So we use the possessive apostrophe S. Number 2. My family wants to see a movie, but I, myself, would rather read a book. Okay. My family wants to see a movie, comma, conjunction, but I, myself, that's the correct reflexive pronoun, would rather read a book. Number 3. Are we going to recite the poem we learned, The Road Not Taken, at the next assembly? Are we going to recite the poem we learned? Now, you're going to name the poem, so put a comma. A poem is going to have quotes around it, and you're going to use capital letters, comma, quote, at the next assembly. And number 4, Alyssa and Marco had a long argument about the article. An argument is here a discussion, a conversation. You can say disagreement, a talk. Any word like that would be correct. Okay, so make sure you've corrected your work in red before you turn it in to me on Monday. Thank you.